Hey guys, hello from London. I am really sorry for the delay in getting this Q&A to you. I've been dealing with some funky Wi-Fi issues, but I'm now in London and Wi-Fi seems to be, fingers crossed, pretty stable. I was in Exeter, I've done the Camino, woohoo, and was in Exeter staying with a friend of mine, but to be honest with you, even though the Wi-Fi was great, all I wanted to do was sleep. So body just went tired, so I didn't get much done, but here I am and I want to answer your Q&A. I only got a few questions, so I'm gonna go through those, but they were really good questions, so hopefully I'll be able to answer those for you. So the first question that I got was, what was the symbolism of the rocks that I laid at Cruz de Ferro? So the meaning, Cruz de Ferro is probably, I'm gonna probably fudge this, but it's probably around 400 kilometers into the walk, and generally by that time you've kind of gotten over your physical woes, and you are now starting to deal with a lot of the emotional and mental part of the Camino. And the Cruz de Ferro is a place where you carry stones from home, and it symbolizes burdens that you are carrying. So the idea of going to Cruz de Ferro is to lay your burdens down, let them go once and for all, and that way you can move forward with your journey, your mental journey, your spiritual journey, and so on. And I'm not going to reveal what my stones actually represented, but I will tell you that I was really sick actually right before then, and there was a point between a little village that I stayed overnight in Rabanel, and Cruz de Ferro was about 8 kilometers from there, and then it was about another 8 kilometers, I think, to the place I was staying overnight. And basically I was actually on the verge of pneumonia. I figured out after the walk. I caught the flu really badly, but I was very wheezy in my chest, and I had had pneumonia last year and the symptoms were identical. So if it wasn't for my friend Amanda, who is the retired doctor who helped me through that, and helped me get an inhaler from a pharmacia in Spain, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. But the reason I'm telling you that is because I got to the top of the hill at Rabanel and wasn't feeling well at all, and was really just I was ready to quit. There weren't many days that I felt that way. There were two that I remember distinctly of wanting to end my Camino. That was one of them. And I just, somebody asked me the question of, how would you feel if you didn't lay your stones down at Cruz de Ferro, which at that point wasn't that far. It was only 8 kilometers away, and that's what pushed me on. And I can tell you that it took me 3 hours to walk 5 kilometers. I wasn't in a good place, but then I connected with a couple of 3 other people who were walking, who I was able to get to Cruz de Ferro with, and they were my Camino angels that day, for sure. And I laid my rocks, and I really felt like my burdens had gone away. And I walked the last 8 kilometers and felt so much better. I ended up taking 2 rest days after that, but it's definitely something that everybody feels with the Camino in laying their stones. So I should have ended on that one. Jeez, thanks very much for that, Lisa, for your question. So a lighter question. What would I recommend for a daily budget for the Camino de Santiago, and does it does it vary from city to city? So this really depends on how you do the Camino. You know, everybody does it differently. You can do it on a bare bones budget and do the municipal hostels, which are anywhere from 5 to 10 euros a night, staying in, you know, big dorms. There are donativos, which are hostels that it's a donation. But what I found for myself was it was better off if I could do some albergues, which were hostels, and do those for a couple of nights. But then I found that I needed a private room to basically get some sleep, and because I found it really difficult to sleep in the albergues, and also I just needed some space, some private space, because even though you're walking, you tend to be walking with other people, you're talking a lot, and you just need that quiet time. And I found that was definitely part of the Camino or my Camino that I needed for myself. And private rooms went from anywhere, for a single, went anywhere from 25 euros a night to, I think the most I paid was about 60 euros a night. So, you know, add in that's just the accommodation piece of it. But it's so cheap along the way. The pilgrim meals are anywhere from 8 to 15 euros. And that's a 3-course meal, including bread and wine or water, or both. And then you also tend to stop when you are needing breaks for the day. Second breakfast becomes your favorite meal. You'll tend to have something for breakfast, and then about, you know, 8 kilometers in, you'll stop for a second breakfast, which will be, you know, a chocolate croissant and tea, or bacon and eggs and a coffee. But, you know, those themselves, I mean, those were no more than, like, I think I paid 3 to 5 euros, maybe. And then, you know, you had tortilla de patatas, which is like a potato omelette, and those were, again, 2 or 3 euros, but they were massive. So they kept you going for a while. So I would say, in general, you could probably do 30 euros a day on a budget, or you could do anywhere up to, you know, maybe 80 a day for a single. Even doubles, they don't charge you a lot more for a double room if you want a private room. And it's the same for any pilgrim if you are doing, you know, dorms. So it's per person. So hopefully that answers your question. What's the most surprising thing I've learned about myself on the journey? Something that I didn't really expect. This one's a good question. I think I'm still trying to figure that one out, because I learned a lot about myself. One is I have a competitive streak. I think that's probably the surprising thing. I didn't realize that I had such a competitive streak, but I will tell you that my competitive streak got tossed out the window day one when I was trying to walk the 8 kilometers up to Orison, and it's at elevation, and it took me quite a while. Took everybody a long time, because it's a really long, slow hill. And but, you know, I found as I was leaving Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port that you know, I had people pass me the whole Camino. I was the slow stroller. There is a patch that you can put on your backpack that's a turtle, and that was totally me. But I was okay with that, you know. I mean, slow and steady. You get there in the end, and I got to see some amazing things, including a calf being born, by the way. Actually, not the calf actually being born, but the calf right after. So but it was an amazing moment. And I got to see so many wildflowers, and I got to see Templar, you know, churches, and I got to ring the oldest bell in Spain. I mean, it was just, you know, an amazing experience by going slow. So by tossing out the competitive streak and realizing that, you know, I didn't need to catch up to people. I didn't, you know, need to, you know, run ahead or, you know, try and kill myself to catch up. That was probably the surprising thing, is learning that I actually did have a bit of a competitive streak. But I did learn a lot about myself on this journey. Somebody threw out the word perseverance probably about 2 weeks before I finished the walk, and I thought that was just the perfect word for me, because it just, you know, I had so many obstacles thrown at me, and I just kept persevering through it all and just thought, you know, I'm going to do it. And you know, maybe that was the surprising thing, is that I actually did, and I am very proud of myself that I did finish it. There were parts that I skipped, but only parts because either I was concerned about running out of time. I was also concerned about walking long distances without trees and lack of services. And that's the meseta part, which is part of the middle. I did half of the meseta, and then I fast forwarded. And then there was the second part that I fast forwarded, and it was only a day, but that was because there was lavender along both sides of the trail, and I've learned too that I am highly allergic to lavender. When I was walking past fields that did have the wild lavender in it, I was already feeling it in my throat, and I was just, you know, just not in a good place. So, and antihistamines were being popped like lollies. So those are the questions that I did get. I know that there's other questions that have been thrown out on Facebook, so I will try and I've been trying to answer those as I go. But the one thing that I did want to say is, you know, if you are thinking about doing the Camino, I do recommend it. It is something that is unlike anything else I've done in my life, and I am considering doing it again. So I would also tell you that I am considering writing a book about my recommendations and also my experience of doing it as a solo woman, because I did learn a lot, and I just have a lot of information that I can share based on my experience, because I know before I started the Camino, there's so much information out there, and it does get really overwhelming and really confusing, and you know, everything from what to pack to, you know, what's a pilgrim meal to budget to, you know, how to take care of your feet, and you will become obsessed with your feet, let me tell you. There's a lot of information, so I'm wanting to share that, so I will probably be writing a book. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully you've got more questions coming. I will have another Q&A next month, and I am hoping to do that from Japan, which I will be heading to next. So until then, I will see you on the flip side. See ya. Bye.